she was always the first one to leave, early on in the night, when everyone else was just getting started. She didn't like the feeling of being drunk, that loss of control, of sensibility. She'd been hungover so many times. She decided it wasn't what responsible adults did. Her mum had drummed that into her one night, holding back her hair as 2 bottles of white wine and God knows how many vodka and lemonades decided they wanted out. She'd rather be at home now, watching TV after a day's work, especially if it meant he was sitting close to her. She didn't even mind that he always had the laptop on, playing that stupid football management game. Just being there with him was enough. She still enjoyed a drink at the end of a workday, a glass of wine with a meal and the occasional full bottle at the weekend. But the binging had stopped, that was for certain. When a cheeky Vimto cocktail had been forced into her hand by one of the girls who told her she'd love it, she didn't say no. Port and wicked. Who thought of these things? She didn't care. It tasted bloody great. 1 more led to 4 more, and before she knew it, she was in an 80s-themed nightclub, dancing her heart out to Chesney Hawkes. 2 a.m. hit, and she was saying her goodbyes. She loved them all, her girls, always left wondering why they didn't see her more often.
Don't go yet. We'll all share a taxi later. Club doesn't shut for another hour. It's all right. I'll be fine. I'm knackered. Want me bed. Need to get back. No, it's okay. I'll walk up to the tunnel stretch by the museum if I can't get one.
Voice going hoarse from shouting over the music. Promises to do it all again soon. To give them a text when she'd arrived home. Finally, she was out of the club, the bouncer helping her down the final step. Fresh air hit her, along with the realization she was as drunk as she'd been in a long time. She began searching through her handbag for her phone, eventually finding it in the same pocket it was always in, wanting to call a taxi to pick her up.
For fuck's sake!
Too loud. Not in the club any longer, but her voice hadn't caught on to that fact yet. A couple stared as they passed by, as she continued her argument with the stupid, battery-sucking smartphone. The decision to wear comfortable shoes becoming the best idea she'd ever had. She set off for the taxi ranks at the end of Matthew Street, hoping it wouldn't be too long a wait. She walked past the old Cavern Club, the sound of some shitty band murdering old hits wafting out of the doors as a few tourists spilled onto the street. She couldn't find a taxi. Queues of people down North John Street. She walked away from the lights of the clubs in the city centre, hoping to get one coming out of the tunnel. When she was younger, it had been easier, as there was always enough of them to be safe getting the night bus home. Now she had money in her pocket. She wouldn't have to sit on a full bus, the stink of kebabs and vodka shots seeping into her clothes. The lads who were either squaring up to each other or trying it on with any girl with a pulse. No, thank you. She could pay the £8 and get home without any of that. She stood on the corner near the museum, waiting for a hackney with its light on to pass her. She wrapped her arms around herself, cold air beginning to bite as she stopped walking and leant against the St. John's Gardens wall, the museum over to her right. The entrance and exit to Birkenhead Tunnel directly opposite her, swaying to silent music. She was cold, wishing she picked a warmer coat when she left the house earlier. She'd picked the right shoes. That was supposed to be enough. 10 minutes went by. Then 15, before a hackney finally came towards her, slowing down before passing her.
Hey!
It went up towards town, then did a U-turn and headed back her way, coming to a stop in front of her. She opened the door, barely registering the driver at all, just shouted her address at him and settled back in the seat. She was glad to be in the warmth of the car. As they drove through the city centre, she began to feel just a little uncomfortable. The driver looking straight ahead, barely acknowledging her presence. He'd not said a word since she'd entered. Must be one of the new foreign drivers that were coming over from Eastern Europe or wherever. Her mum would know. She should ring her mum tomorrow, she thought. She hadn't been in touch much lately, and she wanted to catch up. She yawned a few times in succession, the blurred buildings going past, becoming hypnotic as the cab wound its way out of the city centre towards home. She battled.